The first session in this afternoon, the many speakers say that the interconnection and the microgrid will coexist. I agree. But my presentation is a little bit microgrid-oriented one. And many people ask me, is microgrid useful for developing country? Or can the developing country afford for adopting the smart grid? You may know the answer. Always the answer is yes, but the path to get the smart grid can be different between the developed country and the developing country. So I prepared this material for the people who are struggling to make the smart grid implementation plan in developing countries. I will start the definition of the smart X and the relation between the smart grid and the microgrid, and I will explain the 4 different types of smart grid. I don't know you agree, but I will explain the 4 different smart grid and 3 different microgrid, depending on the technology levels. And I will conclude it with the application of the smart grid, and finally I will suggest the strategy. There are so many definitions on smart grid. Everyone has your own definition of smart grid, but I love this one because I made this one. Yeah, the smart X is the convergence between the X with ICT and create fundamental innovation and new business. For example, the smartphone. Smartphone is the convergence between the phone and ICT and create the fundamental innovation from the stationary phone to the mobile phone. And they make various business. Not only the voice call, but also including anything. But you can SMS or texting and voice call, etc. That is the smartphone. And the smart grid is the same. Smart grid is the convergence between the grid and ICT. Then make the fundamental innovation from the centralized system to the distributed system and make many business, including the power supply. For example, the green home, green building, and electric vehicle, etc. And microgrid is more popular than smart grid at this moment, but the relationship is very simple. The microgrid is a building block of smart grid, you know. And I divided the smart grid in 4 types, from the fully centralized system-based smart grid to the hyper-distributed system-based smart grid. This is the evolution of the smart grid. And microgrid also divide by 3 types, depending on the technology levels, from tier 3 to the tier 1. I will skip the explanation. You can see the table. Now, this is the application of a smart grid and microgrid in the developed country. They can start from the distributed system-based smart grid, and they can apply the microgrid from the tier 2 microgrid and to the urban area, and the tier 2 or tier 3 for rural area. But in the developing country, they have to start from the fully centralized system-based smart grid. And some rural area and the remote area, there is no access of the electricity, then you can start from the microgrid system-based. But the microgrid system will be the tier 3 microgrid. In long-term base, the developed country and the developing country, the types of the smart grid will be the microgrid system-based smart grid. But the technology level is different. in developed country, the urban area will be the tier 1 microgrid, but the rural area will be the tier 2. But in developing country, the microgrid system in urban area will be tier 2 microgrid, and the rural or remote area will be tier 3. And eventually, the system will be the same. The smart grid will be the microsystem-based smart grid, and the microgrid will be tier 1 or tier 2, even in the developing country. So this is the recommended smart grid strategy. First, make unit cell demonstration. First, unit cell can be the home microgrid or remote area microgrid or building microgrid or campus microgrid. Then increase the number of the microgrid. Then you can make the multi-cell implementation, and you connect every microgrid by ICT technology. Then finally, it can be the microgrid or microgrids. That is the smart grid. I'm not sure. This is not the perfect or only one solution for the developing country, but I hope this will be the good starting point for the developing country. Thank you.